Here you can see the tile that I bought. It's a 60 by 20 tile, enough for 3 pictures. I thought I'd mark it up and cut it into 3 individual pieces so that I can transfer the image onto them. As you can see from here, the tile cutter wasn't doing the job. I cut it several times, but with no joy whatsoever. In the end, I gave up and thought I'll make a triptych. These are the 3 images that I thought I would stick on. They're of a Shire Hall, which is a local government building. I printed them out and then chose which way that I wanted to arrange them. Bear in mind that you have to remember to flip them over. When you stick them onto the surface, they will be reversed. So if you've got any text, you would need to flip it over as well. This is me just trimming the borders off and then choosing where I'm going to place them onto the slab. What is it? A tile. This is some gel medium, acrylic. So then I just coated the tile surface in the right location. Make sure it's quite evenly spaced out, and then covered the paper as well. This is done on a laser printer so that the laser toner should transfer onto the surface. You can see this is it. I'm just smoothing it out from the center with a plastic card, and then finally with a roller, just to make sure that it goes into all of the little nooks and crannies on the surface of this textured tile. Again, a little bit more gel medium for the acrylic before smoothing it out. I also did a second one, which is this colour printer picture of a multi-storey car park. You can see I've flipped it, and that is going to be glued onto some leatherette material. It was £10 for a metre of this leatherette from Dunelm, and this time I'm using iridescent medium, which has got sparkles in it, just because I thought it might make the lights inside the car park through the windows, it might make those look a little bit brighter. So splodge it everywhere, get it all on, spread it out nice and gently across the whole surface, and then stick it face down. Squeeze it out from the centre again using the plastic card, and then finally finish it off with a roller and get rid of all of the waste medium that's been splurged out the side of the piece of paper. Once that's done, they can go to dry, and they need to dry overnight. This is the next morning now, so I've just got a bowl of water and a sponge, and from that sponge I'm just dabbing it all over the back. So dabbing it all over the back like that will soak into the back of the paper, and then after a little while, when it's all completely soaked, you start rubbing away either with the sponge or with your fingers and you can see the paper rolling away. The paper's rolling away in little pieces, and then eventually, if you do it gently enough, you'll uncover the picture that should be left behind on the tile or on the surface that you're leaving the image onto. You see there that it's just pulling off the paper in little bits, make sure it's all wet. You can see some of the image coming through there on the left one and the middle one, and then after the images have all been wiped off, you're left with that when it dries out. The images are there still, but they've still got too much white paper on, and then putting on some varnish and you'll see the image magically appear, but there wasn't enough white paper taken off. The problem with it is if I'd taken any more off, the whole image was sliding around on the tile, but you can see there the bit of acrylic varnish brought out the image for a little while, but then at the end of the video you'll see that when it dried, more white paper came back and just ruined the quality of the image, so it made it practically useless. So after this one, you can see what we go into when it's drying, some holes in it. You still see the image, but once it dried completely, it went completely white again, like that. You can still see a bit of texture, a bit of the image pop through. This is the one on the leatherette. This is going through in the kitchen sink, just rubbing away at bits of paper off the image, and you can see that the colour image is stuck fast onto the leatherette, and it is moving away very gently. Just take it steady, don't rub too fast or too hard, because it will just rub away some of the ink as well from the surface that you're sticking it onto. Quick rinse off, and that's what it looks like. You still see some bits of white, that's bits of paper that I haven't rubbed off, and you see it's dried a bit more there, so the white bits seem more pronounced. But when you put a bit of varnish on, that soluble acrylic varnish, you can see that the white bits tend to soak it up, and then they turn transparent, and then you can see that that looks much better. And then once it's all pretty even with the brush, you'll see that it looks almost finished, like that.